So that shiny new game just came out, Grounded 2, and you want to know if it's worth your time, right? Well, let's take a look at the game, first impressions. Keep in mind, this is not a full review, this is a quick look at the game. I played the game for 3 hours, so I'll show some footage of the game, I'll describing it and giving a few thoughts on it. I've only played a little bit of the first game, so I can't really compare the first and the second game together, but based on my limited experience, it seems much the same, albeit with a new location and a few changes. This game currently has no upscaling, and the performance is not as good as I hoped. It's most likely you'll need to turn down the in-game settings. I myself did that, and it was mostly fine after that, but it is something to think about. I had some FPS drops every now and then, and oddly enough, I had 2 freezes mid-battle, but it wasn't a game freeze. Only my character froze. I'd be trying to press keys on my keyboard, but my character just wouldn't react, all while an enemy bug would be hitting me just fine. It was panic-inducing, because I thought I was gonna die. You can play single player or multiplayer, and for the 3 hours that I played single player at the medium difficulty. There are 4 characters that you can choose from, and I chose Pete. These are the same 4 characters from the first game. There's a cutscene explaining what happens, but I'll just summarize it. There was a 2-year anniversary at the park for when the 4 teenagers were shrunk down against their will. However, there was an explosion, and you wake up in the game small again. Also, the robot from the first game, Burgle, his head was ripped off by Dr. Tully. Now, as for the rest of the story, I have little to say. You'll talk to a lady on a screen every now and then to progress a game, but that's as far as I've gotten so far. I've been spending my time actually playing the game, which is all about survival, such as gathering resources and crafting, and fighting enemies, so it's quite time consuming. So far, I've built a workbench to craft more items, a lean-to for sleeping, some storage baskets, a water container for storing excess water, a fire for cooking, and then I spent quite a while cutting down grass to make walls and a door around my small base. I put my base directly next to a facility that has a resource analyzer for scanning new materials, and when you do scan new materials, you'll get raw science. These raw science points are used for buying things at the ranger station. Each item you scan will then unlock different recipes for things that you can craft with that item, so it's useful to always scan new items. Also in that facility next to my base is a ranger station that's used for 3 things. Number 1 is buying things with your raw science points, like cooking recipes or furniture for your base. Number 2 is the most important one, upgrading your Omni tool. This is a new item that was not in the first game. It takes the place of individual tools. So for example, with the Omni tool you can now chop things, mine things, shovel things, and repair your items. It does not degrade either. It takes the place of hammers, shovels, axes, stuff like that. The third thing at the ranger station is ranger challenges, which will show you challenges to earn more raw science points. This is a survival game. You'll need to drink and eat food to stay alive, which can be annoying sometimes. It's best to cook your food at the campfire, but also your food does degrade over time as well. Most insects will attack you on sight, but not all of them. Snails and ladybugs won't attack you unless you attack first, for example. There are some really tough enemies, and they are not far at all from the starting location. You can easily die in this game, and I did die several times. When you die, you drop a lot of items, but not all items. You can go back and pick them all up though. There were several enemies I've seen that I did not dare get close to. It's hard enough as it is with all the other enemies that I can barely beat. The Orb Weaver Junior spiders are a real tough opponent for me right now. Larva insects one-on-one is doable, but if there's 2 of them, then it's not guaranteed that I'll live. You'll see gnats and mites all over, and they are pretty easy to kill, but mites are irritating because if they see you, they'll just instantly attack. It's like 2 or 4 of them at once, which is easy, but it is a nuisance, especially if you're fighting a bigger, tougher enemy at the same time. I did see a bigger spider at one point, and I just ran away. There was no way I was going to beat that one yet. At one point, I saw a mosquito. It would have absolutely destroyed me, but I cheated the battle. I'm finding that you can create scenarios to kill insects where you're still safe. You just have to mess around with items in the game that insects can't go through or around. It's a cheap way to kill bugs, but worth it if you can find it. You have an inventory, and there is inventory space, so I was putting a lot of stuff in my storage baskets. You also have armor and weapons that you can equip. I crafted some armor and put it on, but it does deteriorate with use. Same with weapons and shields. There are one-handed and two-handed weapons, but I wanted a shield at all times, so I only stuck with one-handed weapons and a shield. I did make a bow, and the bow is actually pretty good. After you shoot the bow, you can even go pick up your arrows too. I really just ran around collecting resources and building myself up over and over, all while following along with the missions. One mission in particular, I needed to find acorns, and I actually had a pretty hard time searching for that. I was on that one for a while. I traveled around looking, but could barely find any of them, just to realize that there were multiple nearby the base I made, just the opposite direction. This game seems just as fun as the first game. If you were a fan of the first game, you'll like this game just as much, if not more, I think. I've always liked the concept of being small around everyday items. I just find that fun. Overall, the graphics look fine to me. The performance does need some work, but the game itself is fun to play, which is what really matters. I'd say get the game if you're interested in it, though that's my personal opinion. Whether or not this is your type of game, I'll see you on the next one.